It's build log time with Steve from, you guessed it, PC Budget Solutions. I mean, come on, you wouldn't be watching it if it wasn't right. So today we got a build log. It's a mix of a couple newer parts and a couple parts of my wife's computer. So it's gonna be something we'll be selling here pretty soon. We did some changes, some upgrades, i.e. her motherboard died and I bought her a decent board to tie her over, and then we just got the new board back. They actually went from a B350 Tomahawk to a B450 Tomahawk, so that was good. And I'm pretty excited. This is actually going to be a really competitively priced build that I'm going to be selling here. I don't sell online because shipping is just a royal pain in the butt. But I am definitely really excited to put it together. I like the balance and I like the elements that I'm bringing with it. So it definitely should be good. I actually have over here, I've been running it for a few days. More so I wanted to test the H100i that I've had in the office for about a year. I haven't used it in some time. I thought the pump was failing, but it turns out the fans that I was using have static pressure of 0.6. And I'm using fan with static pressure of almost 3. Just wasn't moving enough air. That's actually what the problem was. It's kept this Ryzen chip extremely cold. Very, very, very cold. So I'm very happy with that. But we're going to start getting some things installed, set up, and everything. So come along for a ride. It's another build log. Okay, so first things first is we are mounting the fan that we're going to be using in the rear. It's a Cooler Master. I think these are the air balanced or the pressure. I honestly can't remember. I want to say they're pressure looking at the fan blades because there are a lot of them and they're flatter. So just keep that in mind. I had 3 of them from a previous build. I ended up not ever reusing them. I didn't understand how RGB and addressable RGB and 12 volt and 5 volt worked. I just know I had problems with them working from a standpoint of for the colors. So now that I know how they work and they work fine, we are good to go there. Unfortunately, this screw is no bueno. So we gotta put another one in here. And unfortunately decided to strip itself, which can happen from time to time. So there we go. Perfect. Go ahead and toss that one so we don't reuse it. So that's in. Let's go ahead and grab everything that is currently like installed in theory, and let's go over some of the parts. We already know about the case. Quickly, we have an EVGA BQ. It's an 850 watt, upside down. We have a Mushkin Source 500 gig SSD. We have an H100i with the Cooler Master fans on there. And then we have a Ryzen 7 1700, 16 gigs of RAM. Just some good overall stuff. So what I'm going to do now is we are going to disconnect a few things. More so anything to the power supply right now, because we're going to be mounting that separately. There we go. There we go. Power supply was a really good deal. I've used it for a little bit. I actually bought it from somebody secondhand. They bought it and I don't know why they sold it. It still has 2 years left on the warranty. Of course, it actually might have been longer, but EVGA only transfers 2 years, so that's how much time is actually left. And, well, it was a good deal. So let's go ahead and take this and put this on the side for now. Let's actually get our IO shield in. Let me find a couple things. So we got the SSD. I just don't want to start losing anything because you guys know how quickly I can lose something. And I believe I already started losing stuff. No shocker there. So, just dawned on me, it's actually going to be quite simple. This will line up. So, no concern now. And problem solved. So you definitely don't want to screw them all the way down. The bottom ones, as you start to maybe a little bit further, just to kind of hold it up. But you don't want to start shifting the placement of the screw holes on the other ones. So now if you're wondering how do I know which one's which, well, I've mounted this cooler a million times back when I was using it all the time, and it has not changed. The general kind of hex head screws are the ones that I used back then. It's the ones I'm going to use now. So, and the reason why I'm doing pull, actually there's two reasons. A, I think it'll actually look cooler, at least for the side angle, and this is somewhat filtered as well, so it'll actually be, I think, a little bit better from a filtration standpoint. So I will say this, definitely don't over tighten these because you can bend these brackets pretty easily. More so the middle ones, and if you use this top up here, those bend really easily just from experience. I'm actually carefully looking as I turn to make sure there's not any bend action going on. That one's good. This one's a little bit more lopsided. That one's good. That one's good. And this is the last one. Perfect. One of the things I'm going to have to do is I'm actually have to flip these fans because the wires are on the wrong side, but I'll get to that. So I'm gonna do this vertically, but never ever mount the motherboard vertically. I'm doing it simply for basically show and tell purposes, because if this board falls, that's not going to be good. So what I'm going to do is I bolted the center one down all the way, and what you're going to notice is everything is off center because of that. So I will loosen this a little bit to allow this to shift around easier. But you definitely should always do this laying down. And the other reason is it becomes more difficult because gravity wants to pull the board down. So it's very important that you are very careful, because you want to make sure all these line up fine. As this one, it's giving me a little bit, there we go. Was giving me a little bit of trouble, but, and also normally I like to do this in a star pattern or a cross pattern, and doing this up and down makes it kind of impossible to do that. So I think we got them. Nope, top right. So now I will do this one down all the way, and I will tighten these now in a star pattern, or a cross pattern rather. There. 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 And got you, center. Okay, so the question is I really would like to put this in the bottom, but it will definitely interfere with the graphics card, so we're not going to deal with that right now. What we are going to do, we're going to go ahead and send these out. We're going to loop this way. Let me think. Pump is up top. CPU fans down bottom. It's only from working with this for a little bit how I remembered that. Yeah, well, we'll deal with that later. Let's go ahead and get these fans swapped around. Hey, give me that back. There we go. And we're good. So now what we're going to want to do is start getting most of these fans hooked up and going here. So here is the one, just like that. Then we have this one, which should, nope, not what I wanted, this right here. This one, which also hooks in just like that. And then the last one, okay. So we're good there. Let's go ahead and address this. So what we most likely need, nope, not that. Nope, not that. Okay. So we need, nope, neither one of these. Not you. So I don't have it on here right now, do I? Oh no, I do. Yeah, okay. So the addressable on this board is, I think it's at the bottom. So and then I believe, actually I think they're both actually down here, believe it or not. So let's go ahead and give her a spin and see. Yes, just the wrong spot. Okay, so the addressable is over here. Yep, that one's in. And then nope. I swear the addressable is easier to plug in. Let me see. Yep, that one should be good. Okay, so we're good there. And then we will plug in. Now, unfortunately, it's going to actually have some cross action, which is not fantastic, but if we can just be smart about it, it won't actually be that big of a deal. Okay, so now that that's plugged in, and then we have this guy, we're actually going to plug this into the CPU header just because sometimes some other boards like to give an error for that. So considering that everything else actually runs right off the pump, so perfect. Okay, so we're good for that. Power, okay, yep, so we're definitely good there. What do we want to do next? Let's do power supply. What we're gonna try to do is squeeze this in here. And the only reason why we have to try to do that is because I know for a fact that we can't move the hard drive cage. So what we're gonna try to do, is to get this out of the way. Fun. This is definitely fun. We're talking about a game of millimeters here. And I mean literally millimeters. Actually, we'll try to do, there we go. Thank God. So, did I measure? Nope. Not at all. It's probably one of the foam inserts or whatever. But this is the power supply that I had sparing around here. So, it works. It has a lot of warranty on it. It's way more than what the customer would ever need. So, why buy another one? I still have a spare 500 that I use for test purposes, but that one unfortunately is an 80 plus white, and I'm not very confident with that with resale. This is 80 plus gold, so this is actually a much better power supply than I'm selling the other system, but that one's everything in that one's brand new, so. It has cost as much as the CX 450 that I bought. Same price, except this I bought used for some projects that I was working on, and that one I brought new. And I bought that one, it had just over 2 years. Now it has just under 2 years. I've had it around the office for a little bit. Come on. There we go. And there we go. Perfect. So now, before we get too far into anything, it's very important that we made sure we had all the SATA cables in there we need, and we do. all the cables in general rather, and we do, so that's a plus. But we're going to be very strategic with cable routing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the CPU first. Oh. It's good that there's no heat sink up here because that could definitely be annoying. First one in. Second one in. Perfect. Okay, so we got that in. We have the 20+4 pin, which we can go right through here. Actually, let's spin it this way. And come on. Yep. Perfect. Good there. Let's, we can probably, now we don't want to do graphics card yet. We want to kind of focus on doing that one last. Let's go get the SSD, and I think that'd be a good idea. There's a couple ways we can do it. Do we want to put it in the front or not? I suspect we could. Okay, we're still 30 minutes in theory on that battery. Yeah, we could. So it's going to be fun, but it'll fit. Just have to find the holes to line up. So for an SSD, we're doing 2. That's absolutely all you need. If you need more than that, you're doing something wrong. So then what I have to do now is get this to line up here, which I have. Now, I did make one mistake. I'll tell you what that is in a second. It might involve me moving the SSD, and I'll explain. And it's actually not that, believe it or not. It is a second problem. It's hard to believe that there's actually 2 problems with this. I don't want to have to plug in another SATA power connector, and I have a mechanical drive to put in at the bottom. So we're going to move this down. Let's move cable management. It's going to be fun here. Let's go ahead and first get this in without it just falling straight out. Perfect. And then grab ourselves one of these 90-degree one guys here. Perfect. But the big question is, why is there a random screw in the case? No, it's not the big question. Here, disconnect that. Come on. There we go. And then we should be able to flatten that out. Perfect. Should be able to do that up. I actually will start cable managing this here shortly. This up here. fact, it may not be a bad idea to start working on that now. The question is I don't think this came with zip ties. I think I have separate zip ties here. So one of the things I do want to get up and out of the way is this. And that is the Cooler Master adapter here. I just want to get out of the way. It's kind of getting annoying and always having to work around it. There we go, perfect. Okay, now we want to do, actually I need another SATA cable. Oh. There we go. This is also a 90 degree. Don't necessarily need to use 90 degree here, but just, we're actually going to tuck that away down here anyhow because we still have to load the operating system. So we don't really want to deal with that at the moment. But let's start hooking some things up here, or hiding some stuff. So again, not everything here is needed. Let's not do the front header yet, but let's get all of these out of the way. HD audio, it's going to want to go up through here. USB is most likely going to want to go through here. And I'm actually not sure where USB 3 is supposed to go on this board. I forget for a second. Actually, right here. So, I really should just do it like this. Perfect. HD audio. Perfect. USB. That's not USB. This is USB. Perfect. And let's do the front panel connectors. And then we will do the graphics card last. That's just because that's actually something that can get in the way when you're doing stuff like this. So just easier to do that at the very last point. And we're going to want to come up through here. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Perfect. So let's do this. So hard drive LED is going to be bottom left. Resets bottom right. There's a extra pin at the far bottom right, so keep that in mind. Power switch is top right. I kept hitting the reset switch when I was doing this earlier. I have no idea why. It's been rough since my mom has passed. She passed on the 23rd of March. If you guys did happen to stay up on that. And again, anybody that mentions any kind words, I appreciate it. If you have nothing nice to say, I'd appreciate it if you just, kept it to yourself. It's fine. You can have the thoughts you want, but again, the internet's not a place for people to be hateful. That's my opinion, so. Come on. There we go. I hate this piece. This is like the one thing about this case I don't like. Okay. And we're gonna need 2 and 3, I believe, so let's just be careful here. Cool, nothing in the way. Perfect. That one's good. So what we'll do here is we'll bend this up so it doesn't hit anything. You definitely don't want that scraping a trace or something. You scrape it once, you're probably in bad shape. You scrape it twice, you might as well get a new board. 3 times, you must really be lucky. So, okay. There we go. That in all the way to my satisfaction. It is, I'm gonna say. Not really, but I'm just gonna say it is. There we go. It's the front pieces resting on the SATA ports. That's the one thing I forgot to shoot. Not only has 4 SATA ports, so yeah, I did forget to do something, but I was gonna have to do that at some point anyway, so. And now I just realized this ain't going back in. Or is it? Yes, it did go back in. So let's not take this back out. I have a feeling I may not get that lucky. But either way, let's try not to. There we go. Thumb screw. Perfect. This is actually our low window, so we actually don't even have to go through that portion. Let's try to find a way to this here. Going to try and get it in the bottom. It'll be easier running through the top later, that's why. And then come on. There's not a lot of room down there, but there is a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Wow, good. I judged by how much pressure I have to put on. It was next to none. I literally just pushed a little bit and then she went right on, so that's fine. And then we'll get her fired up. Maybe we'll do some test on it. Let me turn this a little bit. So, bam, bam. Let me see. Cycling. And actually, I don't like that. I like random. I like it to go through music or different colors. But okay, anyway, I digress. So regardless, we can do any color combination we want. Now the only thing we can't do is the graphics card, unfortunately. However, there might be something here for that. Not entirely sure. Yes, we'll enable that. On-screen benchmark. Now it doesn't look like it has that, unfortunately, but I'm okay with that. That's good stuff. That's really neat. So let's download HW monitor. I can't spell today. And see what this thing does. We'll do I guess we'll do some superposition. Or you know what? Let's do IDA 64. Let me get that downloaded. I don't know if that's... No, I hadn't downloaded that yet. Yes. Let's go ahead and do that. IDA 64. I don't think I have that downloaded. Download. I really need to get a full copy of this because I use it so often. Run this. There's no sound because I have nothing plugged in right now. So, okay, the CPU is fine. It's working perfect, actually. I actually forgot to plug in my wife's pump, and well, if you don't plug in the pump, it will overheat. Lesson learned. It wasn't intentional by any means, but she wasn't particularly happy. That was on the 2600X. It's in her system. We swapped in because she games. She doesn't do any kind of heavy workload. So this little bit of speed advantage made sense for her. Okay, so we're firing this up. We're going to run this for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back. Well, let's take a look. It's been running since actually 20 minutes. And we're running at 3.2 gigahertz on all cores with a temperature maximum of 51 degrees Celsius. Now it's not overclock, I get that, but good. You know, that tells you that this is getting enough air, right? And the GPUs hit a max of 66 with just the default fan curve through MSI Afterburner than whenever you enable it. So I will say, I know this isn't the case review portion, but I said to buy it, it's a good case. 60 bucks. If you have addressable RGB support and you have addressable RGB fans, it's a good deal. It gives you a lot of value. If it wasn't bigger, I'd probably use it for my wife's computer because she wants a smaller case. So if you like the video, definitely like it. If you dislike the video, I don't know why you're here. But you're welcome to. Freedom of speech, hashtag America, I get it. But I always ask, if you dislike the video, give me feedback. I've taken feedback you guys have given me and actually done stuff with it. So I can do that. Get subscribed, like my other videos, and everything that is listed in this video will be in the description below. And as always, this is Steve from PC Budget Solutions, and I'll see you later on down the road.